Okay, so let's talk about the film Babygirl, which is the latest film from Helena Rain, who did the film Bodies, Bodies, Bodies a couple of years ago, which is quickly one of my favorite films that has come out in the last like 5 years or so. I thought that film was so ingenious and damn right funny. The latest film, Babygirl, is like a very different movie, and at the same time, it still kind of talks about our society and sort of our different needs and wants that we want from it. And that's, I think, a whole other conversation I want to keep for another video I want to do on a double feature: Bodies, 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 and Babygirl. Let's just talk about Babygirl here, which stars Nicole Kidman, Harris Dickinson. You also have Antonio Banderas and Sophie Wilde in this movie that Helena Rain has beautifully crafted throughout. So before I get into the review, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. On the road to 35,000 subscribers. What do y'all think? I'm trying to make more videos with like my camera. Horrible background. There's nothing behind here, but I want to fix that pretty soon. Stay tuned. But let's get into Babygirl, which had its premiere at Venice. It also played at TIFF, and it's been on an award season streak of sorts, with Nicole Kidman winning most of those as well. So this movie basically follows the character of Nicole Kidman, who is Romy, a very powerful and rich CEO who sort of has become bored with her life and is trying to sort of find a new passion, a new flame of sorts. She's in a marriage, she has kids and all of that. It should be fine, right? But of course, we as humans, we sometimes want something and we don't know how to ask for it. And that's a very important thing to remember about this film. I'll talk more about that in a bit. We eventually see that she meets Samuel, who is played by Harris Dickinson, an intern at her company, and they start this very interesting relationship of a sort of sub and dom type thing right there, almost a masochist vibe of sorts. And I do want to talk more about that, but I don't want to give too many spoilers about the film and things like that if you want to watch it. And that's basically all I'll say about the plot right there. I'll talk more about it in a spoiler video I'm going to do where I really go more in depth into their relationship and all of that, because it does get very interesting and they even get confused with one another about exactly what is it that they're trying to get out of it all. First and foremost, Nicole Kidman's performance here is just incredible. She plays a very interesting role in Romy, because Romy tries to be this very powerful boss CEO type, but we quickly find out that what she's really longing for and wanting is maybe to be more submissive. But is that really what she wants is the question as we really dive deeper into her relationship, not just with Samuel, but with her husband as well, who is played by Antonio Banderas, and everybody else around her. And I think that is something that is very powerful about film, is that it showcases that it's not all just black and white. There's a lot of gray in these areas, even with these relationships and with the workplace and the society we live in and these norms that are put on us. And I really love how the film is trying to explore all of that in that relationship through Romy, but also through Samuel, the intern, who is supposed to be this sort of dominant figure that Romy's been wanting all her life. And we quickly find out it might not just be all that, really. So I thought that the chemistry between Harris Dickinson as well as between Nicole Kidman was great. It really transcends the screen. There's so many of these moments. I think you're watching it, and I watched it with a packed screening, and it really is some of these scenes, because I think they're not really put into our media we consume and things like that, especially with wide releases in movie theaters and stuff like that. There is a lot of passion of sorts in them. But there's also a lot of moments that I think a lot of people aren't used to seeing on the big screen, and maybe these situations seem a little awkward to many people and all of that. And I think that's one of the things with Babygirl we've been hearing a lot in the reviews and stuff like that, that it really pushes what exactly is shown in the media and things like that. And I won't get into too many details about it, but I do think that the way that Helena has really framed these two and their relationship and all of that was very well done, because it doesn't just feel like it's just trying to, I would say, showcase like the sex and things aspect of that. It really tries to dig deeper into it and more about how they sort of care for each other and want to be there for one another and sort of a comfort of sorts. And I thought that that was such a great way to put it. There's a tenderness to this relationship. It's not just all about the lust and the passion and things like that either. There's a tenderness, there's a love hidden deep down. And the way Nicole Kidman really showcases these emotions, there's one particular scene where she is very vulnerable and just very much so like just giving herself in a way, not just to the character, but I think to the audience, and really just putting down all of her shields and letting go. And I thought that was just one of the most beautiful scenes in the film. It was just so well captured throughout. And we are almost like a voyeuristic type of a look into this movie, because we are witnessing such a very delicate and very like intricate relationship between two of these like people, and it just feels like we're just there like in a voyeuristic manner. I don't know if that was the intention, but that's what I got, and it really just adds even more layers to the film in itself. I thought that Antonio Banderas also was great in this. He has a couple of scenes throughout the film, and I thought he had one scene particularly in the end with a couple of the characters that was just so profound and just so conflicting on all the feelings that are happening at the same time, and they're able to portray it so perfectly that you just feel it through the screen. One of the things too with the film is Helena does an amazing job at framing and lighting, and the cinematography here from Jasper, who is a cinematographer, is just incredible. The rave scene in particular here in Babygirl, the way it's shot and the music and everything, and the way you see the actors throughout it all, it is just so pulse pounding, and through the screen you just feel all of these emotions and things like that. There's also a scene in particular with Harris Dickinson and the song from George Michael, Father Figure, that I think is going to be one of the best sequences all year. That it is just such a sensual and passionate like movement that Harris Dickinson's doing throughout the scene, and it's just beautifully shot by Helena, honestly. Like there is no scene in here that isn't, like, I would say in her mind, like this is a scene that's just a throwaway, right? Like everything has a meaning. The way the actors stand with one another, especially with the dominating actor in one scene and then the less dominating actor in the other one, it really just adds even more weight to the film. Overall, I thought Babygirl was great. It has lingered in my mind ever since about what it's talking about with our society, our norms, the workplace, and just where do we stand as humans once we reach a certain age as well, because it sort of seems that you have to think this one way and be this one way once you get to a certain age, or once you get to a certain like position and things like that, that all your needs and wants should just be quiet and things like that. And I think that's such an important thing to discuss, because sometimes you want something new out of life, but you feel that you are in this place, in this sort of norm that you need to keep going on and fit into society, or else you'll be like ostracized. And I think that Babygirl really talks about all of that in such a interesting way. And I don't know, maybe I'm just somebody who loved the film. Maybe you might feel it's not, but I'd love to know what you think. So make sure you comment below once you watch the film if you enjoyed Babygirl, or if you didn't, that's totally fine. A lot of people really didn't either from what I've seen online, but I think it's such a great film, and I'm excited to see what Helena does next. And really gotta say, Nicole Kidman is one of the best actresses we've had and will have, honestly. Beautiful performance from Nicole. But let me know your thoughts and your opinions on it on the comments down below. And I will say with that, with Nicole Kidman's performance and all of that, I think there are several moments where she really just is carrying the movie, and that's a good thing as well. But I think that some of the other actors here are sort of trailing behind her a little bit too much, where it just really feels like a movie about Nicole Kidman. And of course, she is a phenomenal actress and all of that, but I just think sometimes she is definitely way ahead of everybody else, and it just kind of like it's felt, you know, like you just feel like she's really carrying that scene. And that was my only gripe with the movie. I just feel like sometimes the other actors weren't all the way there with their performance, but as an overall film, I did enjoy a lot about this movie. But stay tuned. Once the movie does release on Christmas Day, well, Christmas week, we will have a video talking about everything in the film, all the spoilers and things like that. Several key scenes that I think are so important with the whole theme about the movie, about not knowing what you want, and maybe knowing what you want, but not knowing how to ask for it, especially once you reach a certain age and things like that. That will be a discussion we will have. I'm working on that video right now, but I will be releasing it closer to the release date of the film just to avoid spoilers and things like that. So expect that video Christmas week. Nosferatu this week, I will have a full reaction for you and review by the weekend. So make sure you're subscribed for that. And as always, make sure you subscribe and follow us for more on things you love. You can check us out over here, wherever you can find us. And as always, that is going to do it for me. I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe, stay positive.